What are some good role models for an INTJ in fiction or in real life? I'm C.S. Joseph, and welcome to the C.S. Joseph podcast, where we discuss Jungian analytical psychology in order to improve your life and the life of others around you. Hashtag new intros all the time. You never know what it's going to be. This is an Acolyte question from our Acolyte members that get sent in every month. We do YouTube videos related to their questions. If you'd like to become an Acolyte member, you need to first become a Journeyman member, which is at csjoseph.life/members or csjoseph.life/portal. That all being said, let's get into the question. So INTJs end up having a difficulty actually picking out role models, and I could kind of see why the question was actually asked initially. It makes a lot of sense, and the reason why I think the reason why is because they get so focused on what they themselves want to do that it's really hard for them to find a general role model standard, and their TE parent is trying to come up with a one size fits all solution because the INTJ is one of the 16 types, if not the one of the 16 types, that likes to take shortcuts the most. Whenever a shortcut is available, they will take it, period, in a story, because they're triple movement. Well, they want it now and they want it fast, and they're not going to wait. And patience is definitely not anything an INTJ, it is not in an INTJ whatsoever. SI Demon is like, meh, patience, what is that? What value is there in it for me? But INTJs, really, you have to understand that you have to concern yourself with how to pick a role model before you actually find a role model first. And it really comes down to your purpose in life. And the purpose in life of an INTJ is to master any skill. And it's basically to have this legacy of mastery or skill mastery of some kind, of top performance to a point, as a result of skill-based mastery. And the thing is that you're going to have to look at other masters. You're going to have to identify other masters of those skills in order for you to have the best skills for yourself as a result, right? And that's really the crux of how to find it. You really just go find other people who have mastery and skills, and then just find out what they did and see if you can mirror that with your extroverted sensing inferior, and then eventually turn that into extroverted sensing aspirational. And then you end up creating on top of what these people have already done based on what you actually want to do, which is healthy, which is good. The thing is, though, is that because INTJs end up, mastering, they realize in life that they have to focus on one skill, because if they don't focus on one skill, they will lose it. So really, INTJs listening to this, when it comes to, having a role model in your life, you really have to make sure you're picking a role model based on what are the actual skills in life that you actually intend to make a priority. And this can also be especially difficult for INTJ women, because INTJ women, they struggle in a lot of areas. If they're being very career focused, they're not exactly going to be readily accepted in the workplace. They're so pragmatic because they're triple pragmatic. They're also triple movement, so they're super fast, and they end up steamrolling people in the workplace. And this can cause them to become social pariahs, in the workplace, women basically, and they're just not as readily accepted. And this is where you get a lot of those people claiming that, oh, men are sexist in the workplace. Well, they're actually just, let's be honest, triple pragmatic INTJ masculine women who just bulldoze people, and that's why they have a bad rap and a bad reputation. And their Effie trickster is too weak to tell them that they're committing social faux pas in the workplace consistently. But then, because they're completely unaware of those social faux pas, they just got to blame, sexism on it instead of actually taking any responsibility themselves for some freaking reason. Solipsism. FI child superiority complex. But it becomes an issue, and because INTJs are very prone to taking shortcuts, this is one of the reasons why INTJ women end up becoming strippers, maybe even pimps in some capacity. they're not often the ones who are like in the porno films, but the ones arranging the porno films or making arrangements thereof or doing some kind of facilitation, kind of like ENTJ madams, etc., from a pimping point of view. But the point is I'm trying to make is that INTJ women have it actually a lot harder when it comes to finding good role models in their life because they are masculine. And anytime they actually are trying to be feminine and want to be feminine, they are shat on by society for being feminine. Because guess what, folks? Women are shat on for being feminine. Everyone's trying to condition and train women to be more masculine, and then they do, and then that kind of plays into the ego of the INTJ woman and their natural solipsism, which is self above tribe, because they're very inwardly self focused. As a result, that can cause a major issue. In fact, actually, I have a fantastic quote that I would like to share that was posted on the CSJ Discord earlier. If you want to get on the CSJ Discord, I highly recommend you actually join. I think the link is in the description of this video down below, so check that out. Get in there, and please realize it can be a little difficult getting onto the Discord server because we require verification. Our Discord gets people try to attempt to raid it and cause a lot of drama and issues over time, so we have a very nice security system installed to keep the bad people out and keep the community safe. But anyway, I would like to share a nice little quote that is relevant to this particular video for the INTJ women watching it. And it comes from Florence Nightingale. And this comes from something written by Florence Nightingale in sometimes in her life. She was born in 1820 and she died in 1910. And it is, quote, "Women aren't capable of love. Women crave for being loved, not for loving. They scream out at you for sympathy all day long. They are incapable of giving any sympathy in return, for they cannot remember your affairs long enough to do so. They cannot state a fact accurately to one another, nor can that other woman attend to it accurately enough for it to become information. Now, is not all this the result of the want of sympathy? I am sick with indignation at what wives and mothers will do of the most shocking selfishness. And people call it all maternal or conjugal affection and think it pretty to say so. No, no, let each person tell the truth from their own experience. They really don't have sympathy or the ability to empathize because they are always judging everyone and everything as a product on a social value scale that relates to their own egos and bounces off of themselves. There is no capability for genuine feeling. This is what I have experienced with women. There is no capability for genuine feeling for other humans or really in general, except when those feelings are for themselves and the other people are just proxies to bounce ideas off of." Wow. Thank you, Florence Nightingale, for exposing female solipsism. And female solipsism is, quite frankly, some of the absolute worst in the INTJ woman within Western society because they are the type that is the most enabled with their FI child superiority complex. Sorry, INTJ women, I continue to bag on you on this area, but I'm so sorry I have to do it because you are just so unaware of your own hypocrisy and your own entitlement, and it is disgusting. To the point where I have broken up with many INTJ women throughout my life because I just can't deal with the entitlement. It's funny, interesting. An INTJ ex-girlfriend recently emailed me saying, "Yeah, sorry about being entitled," and I'm like, "Well, okay, you're probably still entitled right now, and you want me to pretend like you changed?" No, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Especially you who are supposedly in a long-term relationship and yet somehow find the time to just email your ex, okay, while in a relationship. What does that say about your character? You might want to check yourself there. Gotta love that FI child superiority complex. So finding role models is extremely difficult, especially for INTJ women. They have it extremely, extremely hard because society enables their masculinity, enables their solipsism, And if they're going to look for other female role models, honestly, INTJ women, especially in Western society, they're just not going to find it. I think INTJ women would be better served looking for role models in the Middle East. It sounds crazy, or Southeast Asia, basically non-Western society places, and also non-Russian China, because Russia and China has become very all about this new world order, this new world economic order, basically, where everything's based on debt and it's not about life, etc. And whereas, the Middle East is still largely about family, so also is Southeast Asia, like in Indonesia, etc. I think finding role models in there for, female role models who are INTJs there are pretty good. But the thing is that, again, as an INTJ woman, you need to make it about the skill that you're trying to master. And, a lot of INTJ women in Western society end up getting caught up in mastering masculine skills and don't even master their feminine skills whatsoever. And this is one of the reasons why they end up, spinsters, dog moms, cat moms by the time, they're 40, etc. They're alone, they're childless, they don't have any family, and they just had this huge amount of bitterness with them, which doesn't actually make them have, remotely qualify or valuable enough to be a mate. And you don't want to be an FI child person with an SI demon living your life that way, because it'll just lead to self-destructive tendencies and potentially even suicide. Because of the nihilism that INTJ woman would actually experience, which would be terrible and horrible and unjustified, quite frankly, because all of this could have been easily avoided. So, like, a good female role model for an INTJ woman would be another INTJ woman who's potentially matron archetype, who chose to become a mother and have children before she went through her career. And then she mastered the skills of being a wife and mastered the skills of being a mother before she mastered any skills relating to a career. Now, for the INTJ men, obviously the complete opposite is necessary. Obviously, like, not mastering being a woman or being a mother, but be all about their career initially, get their king archetype set up, and make it around their one skill. They need to, like, just like, for example, it says in the Old Testament, whatever your hands find to do it with all of your might, right? So, INTJ men, whatever your hand finds to do it with all your might. And no, I'm not making a masturbation joke when I say that, you snickering people. Oh my goodness. So, with that being said, make sure that you make that a priority. You have to find somebody else who is mastering the skills you're interested in, and then just do what they do. The final role model that I'd recommend would be male or female ENFPs, because ENFPs are your pedagogue type. And I would also recommend you getting to know ISFJs, because they're your superego. So having your superego type relationships, male and female, and your pedagogue type relationships, male and female, these relationships will help you grow. And over time, while they may not be a role model for you now, they'll become a role model, and you would basically become a role model for them over time. And that's where you can actually get some personal growth, especially as you're on your quest to pick up skills and master skills throughout your life, so you can have your legacy of mastery, mastery performance that you are looking for. But at the end of the day, you know, you really are going to learn from fellow INTJs the best. You just got to be like, okay, if I'm an INTJ woman, am I prioritizing my career? Then go emulate. I mean, if you don't want to be a mom, you don't want to have children, even though you're likely going to change your mind later anyway and just get screwed over by feminism, but whatever. But let's say you really do want to be career minded and do all that. Go find a successful INTJ woman who doesn't care about being a mother or having a family either, and do what she did. And then that's pretty much all you have to do. Good luck finding the INTJ woman who preferred to be a wife and a mother from the get-go, and then worked on her career after that was done, after she was in a committed relationship with a high-value man, etc. Like, good luck finding that. I'm sure it exists somewhere, likely the Middle East, but not really in Western society. And then after that, men, basically the same kind of advice. focus on finding INTJ men who are focused on your skill or your craft, basically, and learn from them. You can go with authors, etc. But that's really how you develop role models overall, like as an INTJ. So anyway, folks, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys tonight.